What's up, everybody? Your boy Heat Rocks, aka Patrick Cicino, with Second Take again. So today's video will be entitled More Reasons Why Apple Sucks. And I want to give you what happened to me, my story on what happened to me. So I use an iPad for my job, company issue, right? And I was at a show a couple days ago, and I don't like to bring paper and pencil really, or pen. I like to take everything on the Notes app on the iPad, right? So I used to do all of that stuff on my Note, but obviously the Note 7 is no more, so I can't use the S Pen, and I got the S7, and there's no S Pen, so kind of sucks. So I got to go with the notes on the iPad, right? Use easier to type on the bigger screen with your finger. So I'm taking notes, and I probably took around 10 to 12 different people's contact information. And when I'm taking like my last person's information, I noticed that all of my notes disappear. So I'm like, what the hell, right? So, you know, obviously I don't want to keep the client waiting. So I see something pops up about my password is needed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna cancel out of everything, and I grab a pen real fast from somebody else, grab a napkin, right, and I write his information down. So then, for the remainder of the show that I'm at, you know, I'm just trying to figure out how do I get my notes back? What happened? Why'd that just happen? Googling stuff, you know, people telling me a lot of stupidness, you know, oh, this, that. But then I come along a link with it like, hey, it might be linked to your iCloud. So, okay, cool. Go to iClouds, right? Nope. Note's not there. Then another article says, hey, it might actually be linked to your email, to the Exchange server. And I'm like, why would my notes be linked to my email Exchange? That's kind of a stupid way to back things up. So, lo and behold, notes can be synced to either iTunes, iCloud, or your email. Now, I think that's stupid, because why would they use an email exchange to back up notes? I think that's one of the dumbest things ever, because no one who's in the tech world would think, hey, I need to go find my backed up notes in my email Exchange server. No one would think that. So it's almost like it's hidden from the average consumer. And if I was the average consumer, I probably would have never found my notes ever. And the only way I was able to freaking figure this out was finally when I sit down in front of my PC later at night and I'm trying to access email. It says, hey, you need a password. What's your new password? I'm like, what do you mean, what's my new password? I don't have a new password. Try the old password, can't get in. So then I finally go through all the steps to reset my password on my PC, and I'm like, okay, so now let me go to the iPad. So I go to the iPad because now it's all starting to make sense. You know, that's what happened when I was at the show. It was asking for a password, notes disappeared, and so now I log in to my iPad email, and boom, all my notes come back up. So my point with that is, why is it that I'm not able to access my notes when they should be saved on the hard drive? Apparently, they don't seem to exist it's not as if the file is saved and then it's saved as a backup. No. Because if that was the case, I should be able to access the notes no matter where. And if I delete the notes from my hard drive, I should be then able to go to the backup source, in this case, the email, and say, hey, my notes are backed up here. But that doesn't seem to be the case. The case seems to be this is all saved in the cloud via the email Exchange server. So there is no local source for your notes being saved on your hard drive. So the only way to access your notes is via the cloud in some respect, but not in iCloud, obviously, but on the email Exchange. So had I never accessed, say for instance, I said, you know what, that was just a dummy account for me to set up my iPad, and I never used that email. And then I would have never went back to, even though I got that prompt asking for a password, I didn't know what that password was originally. What are they asking for? So I would have never known that email would have been saying, hey, I need a new password so you can access your notes, which are saved on my Exchange server. So just another reason why iPad and Apple and iPhone and just iOS is just horrible. It's just a horrible user experience. It's one of the, you got to be like just an idiot to think that this operating system and this hardware is better than what a lot of these flagship companies on the Android side are offering. And I'm not even talking about flagship companies like Samsung and HTC and LG. There's a lot of other companies putting out flagship phones. Some of them are the OnePlus 3. Some of them are the Big Blue. There's also a lot of the Chinese companies. I think it's called Xiaomi. One of them makes what they call the Note 3, their version, or that's what they came up with as their name. But I'm just saying, man, the Apple and iOS user experience is just horrible. And every day I just can't, man. And every day I see something else, and I'm just like, why? So I know I bashed the iPhone and Apple iOS and all that every day pretty much, but it just gets better and better every day. I just find more stuff that the phone is limited and it just can't do. And obviously what transfers from the phone is also transfers over to the iPad. It's the same thing to me. It's just a big iPhone. There's nothing different. A tablet that does nothing different from the phone. It's just so stupid. But anyway, it's your boy. Peace. Catch you in the next one.